Right, so, I've just got a few books, but I haven't been able to film for a couple of days, so this isn't straight back from the comic book haul, but basically it is. I just haven't been able to film the new books, but I haven't read any of them yet, because I didn't want to read any before doing the haul video. But I think what I'll do is I'll do a haul video today, now, currently filming the haul video, and then on Thursday, instead of Wednesday, on Thursday I'll do the haul video for next week's books, and then I'll do a review video on the books of this week and next week. Combined. So, because there are still a couple of books from last week, from Wednesday last week, or this week. Still Sunday, so still not the end of the week yet, but there are still some books from last week that I didn't manage to pick up. Punisher number 3 I didn't manage to get. Fantastic Four I didn't pick up, but yeah, there's a couple that I didn't manage to get, but I did manage to get still a few, and one from a couple weeks ago that I wasn't able to get then, but I was able to get today. So we have Black Panther number 8. Been loving this series. Just hope it's still just as good as it has been before. Captain America number 4 and 5. Been loving this series so far. It's been the most I've been into a Captain America run, or Captain America story, or Captain America series for a long time, and I just can't wait to see where it goes going forward. Yeah, it looks like it's a change of artist, which I'm not too keen on, but hopefully it keeps the same kind of style as Hesises did have. The Flash number 5. I don't know where I stand with this book. I think I like it, but sometimes it is a bit heady for me, personally. And, you know, it just seems to be a thing whenever you get a British writer on a book. It usually is like a more heady kind of book. It's always more out there, and Cy Spurrier is doing Constantine at the moment as well, and I think he's trying to make the Flash more supernatural than it needs to be, but also I think that might be a good thing and might get more readers onto the Flash. I think if you like Cy Spurrier's other work, then you might really get into that. I don't know. Daredevil number 5 as well. A lot of number 5s this week. But yeah, Daredevil number 5 versus She-Hulk, John Romita Jr. On the covers, and not in interiors, but just on the covers. I think his covers on Daredevil have actually been all right. The guy in my comic shop was like, John Romita Jr. always a miss, which you know, we were talking about cover artists, and I was like, Hesises has been doing good covers on Captain America, but then the issue 5 isn't him, and you can notice the difference. And then the Black Panther cover is really good, and the cover for the final book I'll show is really good as well. And he was like, John Romita Jr. doesn't do good work anymore. And as a rule, as a general rule, I think that's true. If you look at his Spider-Man stuff at the moment, it ain't hitting. It's not hitting. But I don't think his covers for the Daredevil series have been horrible. I think they've been relatively good, and I think it's a case of small doses. It's a case of small doses of John Romita Jr. and it's more tolerable. It is very square. It is very angular. It is very quintessential comic book art. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, and I think in small doses, John Romita Jr., if he went to strictly just cover artist, maybe he'd be more tolerated by the general comic book reading audience. I don't know. That's just my opinion. That's just a theory, a comic book theory. But yeah, I like the covers on Daredevil, sue me. But talking about a really great cover, Avengers Twilight #1. I think just book 1. It says at the top, not #1, but book 1. Should probably have an issue 1 somewhere, but also having it say book 1. I think that's really stylish. I think that's really classy, and it makes the book feel, at least the cover wise, feel more special. And just something about the cover itself. It's an Alex Ross thing that looks really good, and I feel like when you can tell when Alex Ross phones it in as opposed to when he doesn't, when he really cares about doing a book. Like when he did covers on Spider-Man, you could kind of tell that he was phoning it in a little bit, and he was, trying to hit the deadline. But I think with this, he's really, it's really like, oh yeah, Alex Ross cared and took a lot of detail into this because it does look so good. And then interiors, Daniel Acuna, who apparently did Human Target, which is a book that I haven't read but have heard only good things about. I've heard no one say anything bad about it. And it's one of the books that, other comic book YouTubers just endlessly sing the praises of. So, and he did also do Black Panther as well a couple years ago. He did the previous, not the previous run on Black Panther, but the Ta-Nehisi Coates run on Black Panther, the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda story that ran for like 20 issues. And I really liked the look of that. I really like the look of the interiors of this from what I have seen. But I want to read it just to see how good it matches to the book itself. And that's it. That's the last book. That's the last book that I've got to talk about. A lot of number 5s, a lot of at this point now, where a lot of the series that I'm reading are well on their way into their stories, and it's at a point now where it's like, if you're reading a series like Daredevil, I know what to expect with Saladin Ahmed on Daredevil now. I know what to expect with Black Panther now. With Evil Ewing on Black Panther now. I know what to expect with Cy Spurrier on The Flash now. I know what to expect with Straczynski on Captain America now. The Chip Zdarsky Avengers Twilight, I'm really looking forward to that. That's like the big book of the week. That's like the Ultimate Spider-Man was last week. That's what Avengers Twilight is this week for me. And you know, just this is the point I like with comics, when you're like comfortable with the series and you're like, I know that this book is always going to hit with me. With every issue is pretty much just going to be a good solid issue for me. And yeah, that's exactly how I'm feeling with like Black Panther, Flash, Captain America, and Daredevil. It's just the Avengers Twilight that I'm hoping it either knocks my socks off, or I'll read it thinking, yeah, it's alright, it's okay. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, which will probably be another haul video that I do later on in the week. But yeah, until then, see you in the next one. Base. Oh yeah, like, subscribe, all of that shit if you want to do it. I don't know. I'm not your dad. Do what you want. If you want to subscribe. If you don't, you know. I can't tell you what to do at the end of the day, but please do it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.